The movie drops us in prehistoric India, and here's our boy Sarman and his crew. And you're probably thinking, what are they hunting? Shrimp? Nah, man, they're hunting a crocodile. And why? Because this croc is messing with the villagers. They try to talk to the croc, but it's not having it. So Sarman has to get violent. He spears it in the neck and dives underwater to finish the job. He leaves it, gets out, and the croc gets out right behind him. After that, they take it to the villagers, who are totally hyped because the hero, Sarman, saved them from the evil crocodile. The village chief holds a meeting to thank them for being so brave and rewards Sarman with some crocodile blood. He puts this necklace on him and is like, "This'll give you a major buff." After that, he goes home and his auntie is like, "Sarman, are you serious right now? You literally almost gave me a heart attack." He tells her, "Auntie, good vibes mean no harm." Then he goes to sleep and he dreams of this animal with one horn standing by the river, and it's completely surrounded by water. He hears this tune and finds himself running through this strange, beautiful city. This dream has been haunting him since he was a kid. He wakes up to his auntie humming the exact same song from the dream. He goes to her like, "That's the same tune I dream about. Have you ever seen a one-horned animal, auntie?" She's like, "Nah, honey, you just ate too much and we're in a food coma." After that, he goes to work with his uncle like usual. They're farmers. His uncle tells him, "This year's harvest is trash, Sarman, and the water level is lower than last year." Sarman tells him, "Yo, uncle, can I please go to Mohenjo Daro? All the guys are going tomorrow and I'm dying to go with them to the market." His uncle says, "Son, aren't you tired of this? It's been 3 years of you asking and me saying no. How long are you gonna keep this up?" He says, "Until you say yes. I want to go trade there. I want to see what's out there. I want to see the Sindhu River." His uncle tells him, "Look, son, it's better for you if you don't go to that city. Trust me." Sarman gets pissed and walks off. His wife, the uncle's wife, asks him what happened. He tells her he's still obsessed with going to Mohenjo Daro. She tells him, "I think it's time to let him go. Sarme isn't a little kid anymore. This morning he asked me about the one-horned animal. I didn't know what to tell him." After that, he goes to his buddy Hojo and tells him, "I don't know why they're trying to keep me locked up, man. I'm dying to go to Mohenjo Daro. I wonder what the city looks like. And the people?" Hojo's like, "Yeah, but are the girls hot there?" He says, "You're right. I just know I'm gonna marry a girl who's totally different from the local girls." He tells him, "All right, bro, don't get ahead of yourself. Your uncle is never gonna let you go. Not a chance. Get out of this fantasy you're living in." Sarman tells him, "Man, I will never rest until I go to Mohenjo Daro." And bet, the next day at dawn, he goes to wake Hojo up saying, "Get up, dude, we're dipping to Mohenjo Daro." He's like, "Are you insane? We're just gonna ghost everyone?" Sarman says, "Get up, hurry before they wake up." And they start getting the goods, but suddenly, he's shocked to find his uncle there. He takes him aside and says, "Look, son, trading in Mohenjo Daro is not easy. Bartering there is extremely difficult. This bartering, it means buying and selling. For example, you have some sugar, you trade it with me for some rice. And you, ma'am, have a lipstick, you trade it for an eyeliner, and so on." Oh, if only that system were still around today, a person could have traded the toxic people in their life for some food. Anyway, he tells him, trading there is not easy at all. The people there are savage, man, not human. Don't trust a single soul there. And take this, keep it with you, and don't you dare open it unless it's life or death, no cap. And so they set off, and Sarman is absolutely stoked. On the way, he remembers the cloth his uncle gave him. He opens it and finds the same one-horned animal from his dreams. He gets there and can't believe his eyes. This is the exact city from his dreams. He goes in to pay the tax and feels like life is finally good. But then this totally unhinged guy shows up and starts yelling, "Why are you here? Take your stuff and get out. This city is just full of hate and greed. It's all thieves now. Get out of here, kid, or you will drown." Sarman tells him, "Here, take this shawl and chill, old man." But the man keeps yelling, "Leave, go back home." He asks the guard, "Who is this guy?" The guard says, "Forget him. He's just some crazy old man." He tells his buddy Hojo, "Bro, I feel like I've known this place forever. Like I've been here before. It's giving me major deja vu." Hojo says, "You're right, and these girls are proof." Sarman looks at him and says, "We came here to trade. Whatever you're thinking, it's not happening." They enter the market, and this guy tells them, "Hurry, find a spot for your stuff." They run and find a spot. His first customer comes and offers to trade his goods for 8 bags of wheat. Sarman tells him, "Nah, I'm not taking less than 10. The guard, Losar, tells him, just take the deal, business is dead. So he accepts. He thanks Losar, saying, I saw you give the shawl to the crazy guy. Nobody does anything nice for anyone here. I knew you were a good person, and you must be from out of town. Just then, Mohenjo, the son of the city's boss, arrives. He wants to take the wheat from this poor guy for a super low price. The man tells him, what you're offering is way too low. Mohenjo tells him, if you want more, send the women of your house to me, one by one. The man gets mad, and Mohenjo kicks him. Sarman steps up and says, the value of this is 4 stones. If you want it, take it. If not, leave it. Losar jumps in and tells him, we're sorry, Mohenjo. This guy's new and doesn't know who your dad is. Mohenjo takes the stuff and leaves, and Sarman is furious. Losar tells him, are you insane? You almost got yourself unalived. Don't ever pull that stunt again. Sarman tells him, man, I'm a farmer, and that guy worked hard for his stuff, and this Mohenjo dude just takes it for free? The crazy old man wasn't lying when he said this whole country is messed up. I swear I'm not staying here another minute. Hojo tells him, chill, man, don't forget why we came. He says, no, I'm not staying, I'm leaving. And suddenly, he sees this gorgeous girl on the other side. He's just staring, totally lost in the sauce. And just then, some random idiot harasses her friend, but she shoves him away and says, get away from her before I turn you into a frog right now. Sarman laughs, and Losar tells him, bro, stop staring. That's Chani, the priest's daughter. He asks him, and why is everyone bowing to her? He says, because she's the chosen one for the city. After she was born, the high priest said she would change the city's whole system and lead her people to justice. At that moment, Chani walks towards them, and she finds Sarman staring kinda weird. She gives him this look, then leaves. So this guy is Maham, the city's ruler. He's in a meeting and is basically like, I'm jacking up the taxes on everyone. The head of agriculture tells him, we don't agree. You'll be taking all the farmers' hard work. Besides, all your decisions are trash. They only benefit you. The city's condition gets worse every day. Tell me, since you took over, what's changed? I know all your dirty secrets, and I know the real story about Harappa. Maham says, and the rest of you, you agree or disagree? Everyone agrees to raise the taxes except the head of agriculture. The meeting ends, and he tells the head of agriculture, wait, I need you. He closes the door and says, tell me, what do you know about me? He says, I know why you got kicked out of Harappa. You stole their wood and sold it for profit, you thief, and you and your family got thrown out like trash. Maham tells him, you're right. I must get revenge on the people who humiliated me. And here in Mohenjo Daro, I decide who lives and who dies. And you are gonna die. And he just murders him, along with all his aides. The next day, Sarman is exhausted from thinking so much about Chani. He says to Losar, does the priest live over there? He says, exactly, but you're forbidden from going there. Only the VIPs go in there. They have this gold ring with a specific engraving. Sarman's like, you mean like this one? He's stunned and says, yes, that's it. Hojo says, your uncle told you not to show that unless it was an emergency. Sarman says, bro, this is an emergency. I'm literally simping so hard my heart's gonna explode. And so he goes there with his friends. The guards are kinda sus, but he plays it cool and tells the guard, hurry up, kid, you gonna keep me waiting? The guard says, I'm sorry, sir, please go in. He goes inside and starts looking for Chani, and he finds her standing with her father. But suddenly, these horses go crazy, and the guy holding them loses control. They run right at Chani. At that moment, who's gonna save her? Sarman, our main character, outruns the horses and gets to her first. And I totally believe that, of course. Anyway, he tries to calm the horses and jumps on one. Just then, the horse calms down. Obviously, he doesn't want to embarrass him in front of the hottie, smart horse. And Chani goes up to him and says, who are you, my hero? He doesn't get to answer because her father shows up and says, I don't know how to thank you, son. That was so brave. You're clearly not from this city. He tells him, that's right. I'm from Amri village. I just got here. And right then, Chani starts catching feelings for him. She leaves, and Hojo tells him, "Are you stupid, bro? Why'd you do all that? Plus, you really think a girl like her is gonna fall for a broke guy like you?" Chani turns around and keeps looking at him. Hojo is stunned. Sarman leaves him and goes to the temple, where he finds her father. He's surprised to see the one-horned animal drawn under the city's symbol. He says to the priest, "That's the one horn, right?" He says, "Exactly, my son. The gods travel on it." Anyway, he tells him the gods travel on it, and everyone in the city knows the one horn, but in reality, no one's ever seen it. Sarman tells him, "But I've literally seen this animal in my dreams. It was standing by a river, like it was waiting for me. Look, I even have the same drawing of it." The priest says, "Where did you get this ring?" He says, "My uncle Durjan gave it to me." The priest asks, "And where is your father?" He says, "My parents died from the plague a long time ago." The priest is shook and walks away. Just then, the love of his life arrives, and he forgets her dad and gets lost in her eyes. He goes outside and hears all this screaming. He runs over and finds a bunch of people killed and just strung up. It's brutal. Losar tells him that's the head of agriculture and his supporters. Sarman asks, "Who's the criminal who did this?" He says, "The ruler, Maham." That unhinged guy shows up again and is like, "They had it coming, these criminals. This person spoke the truth, and that's a crime to them. This person asked for justice, also a crime. Even when I spoke up, they took all my stuff. We're done. Nobody asked for justice." Sarman is shocked and says to Losar, "Why weren't they buried?" He says, "It's not allowed, can't be buried or cremated, and anyone who disobeys will be hanging right next to them." Sarman says, "This is insane. How can people die and not be buried? And why do people die just for asking for justice? You're a guard, Losar. How are you okay with this?" Losar says, "It's not that simple, man." Sarman says, "I can't stand this. How does the one horn appear in my dreams? And how did my uncle get this ring? I feel like this city is my city, and these people are my problem. I'm not leaving until I get answers." He sits alone, thinking, and suddenly hears an announcement from the ruler about new tax laws. This person says, "From now on, taxes are increased for everyone." The people are shocked, and Sarman steps out of the crowd and is like, "What taxes? No, we're not paying that." The man says, "Anyone who objects will die." Sarman replies, "Die how? We're already dead. If we accept, we'll watch our kids starve. If we refuse, your boss kills us. So let us die before we watch our kids die. Go tell your boss the people said no." The guards approach him, but the people protect him. So they back off, go to Maham, and tell him what happened. He asks them, "Who is this guy?" They're like, "Some new dude, never seen him." Maham's like, "This hasn't happened in 10 years. This guy is bold. Kolka, find out who this guy is." He says, "Yes, sir." Meanwhile, Chani is just thinking about Sarman. She keeps thinking about him and tells her friend, "I need to see him." Her friend says, "Are you crazy? If anyone sees you with a strange guy, they'll tell Mohenjo." Chani tells her, "I'll just go out in normal clothes, like any other girl, so no one will recognize me." And sure enough, the next morning she goes out looking for him. She finds him and his friend sitting in this barn. Just then, Sarman sees her. Sarman is just locked on her eyes, and she's staring right back. Hojo's like, "Dude, are you gonna stare at every girl you see?" He ignores him. Her friend tells her, "Are you two just going to stare at each other? Go talk somewhere." They go off to the side. She asks him, "How did you recognize me?" He says, "I could spot you in a crowd of 1,000, you cow of my life." She tells him, "Look, honestly, I came out like this just to see you, and it's the first time I've gone out and no one has asked me for prayers or blessings or even a word, and it's all thanks to you. This is the first time I've ever felt free. Come on, let's take a tour of the city." And so they do, and she does everything she's ever wanted. Just then, Kolka spots them and starts chasing them. They ditch him and he can't catch them. He goes back to Maham and says, "I couldn't find the guy, but I saw Chani today with a strange man. It's clear she's fallen for someone other than your son." Just then, Maham storms over to the priest and is like, "Fast track the wedding. My son Mohenjo marries Chani now." He says it can't happen until after the full moon ritual. Sarman keeps looking for Chani but can't find her. He goes to ask her friend, who tells him, "Don't look for her again, cause you won't find her." During the full moon rituals, she can't leave the temple. He asks her, "What rituals?" She says, "It's this thing they do every full moon. On this day, every lover confesses to their beloved so they can live happily, and Shanian is the one who performs the rituals." He tells her, "I have to be with her tonight. I gotta shoot my shot." His friends tell him, "Be careful. If they catch you, they'll mess you up." He tells them, "Don't worry about me. I just have to tell her how I feel." He goes to the party, and by chance, he sees Maham and finds out this guy is bringing him weapons in exchange for a ton of gold. And this group is trained in a specific dance they'll do around Chani. Sarman gets the same fit, blends in with the group, and gives Chani a wink so she knows it's him. The party ends, and he slips into her room. She says, "Are you insane? How did you even get in here?" He's like, "I'd burn the world down just to see you for 1 second." Suddenly, Mohenjo walks in. She hides him quick and says, "What do you want, Mohenjo? I'm changing." He asks her, "Who were you with in the market?" She says, "That was just some guy I felt sorry for." And she keeps laughing. She looks at Sarman, so Sarman just kisses her. She's shocked. Mohenjo says, "How can you change with me in here?" She says, "Well, have some decency and get out so I can change." He leaves. She says to Sarman, "Are you crazy? How could you just do that?" He's like, "Your eyes were telling me to." She says, "No, that was my angry face." He's like, "Your eyes are confusing." So she kisses him back. She says, "See? How does it feel?" He says, "No, I didn't catch that. Try again." So they try again. Right, you guys were swapping spit for like 5 minutes and now it's wrong? And I'm supposed to just buy this? Okay. Anyway, she says, "What we're doing is wrong. I'm engaged to Mohenjo." He asks her, "Since when?" She says, "Since the day I was born. My mom died giving birth to me. They took me to the temple and the priest told my father, 'This girl is blessed and one day she'll change the whole city.' When Maham heard this, he immediately engaged me to his son, and we can't change this. The whole city knows I'm marrying Mohenjo." He tells her, "Nothing is set in stone. I don't care who likes it. You are my wife, period. Nobody else's." Anyway, she's so happy, but her happiness is cut short by a knock, so she sneaks him out. Then Maham goes to her father and says, "The moon rituals are over. We're completing the marriage." He says, "But she's still young." Maham says, "I'm not asking. I'm ordering you. The day after tomorrow, my son marries your daughter." He leaves. And sure enough, the wedding ceremonies begin. The wedding starts and Maham gives his speech. Sarman goes to Chani. She says, "What are you doing here?" He says, "Did you forget what's between us? Did you forget our love? Even the room is a witness. I know you don't love him. Why are you doing this?" She says, "Trust me, it's not up to me. I'm fulfilling my father's promise." He tells her, "No, this isn't your father's promise. You're just obeying Maham." She says, "You don't get it. If I marry Mohenjo, I'll save the people from oppression. I'll change the system." He says, "That won't happen. It's all a fantasy. Trust me, after you're married, you won't be able to make a single decision. These people are snakes. They can't be trusted." She says, "But if I refuse, Maham will hurt my father and the people." He says, "He'll hurt them either way. In fact, after you're married, you'll have no power at all. Refuse this marriage and you'll save the people. Please think about it." Just then, Mohenjo grabs him. They start throwing hands. And even though Mohenjo is huge, Sarman just slams him to the ground. The cool part is, the action is kinda realistic, because Mohenjo hits him back too, but Sarman doesn't care. At that moment, the townspeople want to see the wedding, but the guards block them. So Sarman breaks the door from the inside with Mohenjo, drags him outside, and just wrecks him in front of everybody. But Mohenjo flips him and is about to kill him. But his father, Maham, stops the fight. Kulka tells him, "That's the guy who riled up the people." Maham says, "You're the one who told people not to pay taxes, and now you seduce my son's wife. You're sentenced to death right now." But the priest says, "No, forgive him, your highness. He's not from here. He didn't know the laws." Mohenjo tells his father, "No, we're not letting him go." Maham tells him, "Listen, you idiot. The people have seen my cruelty. Now let them see my mercy. Just watch how I'm going to kill him." He says in front of everyone, "I'll respect the priest's word. I'll pardon you. But first, you gotta pass a test." The priest asks, "What test?" He says he's gonna fight Bakar and Zokar. Everyone is horrified, except Sarman, because he has no idea who they are. He tells him, "Whatever, I'll do it. But one condition. If I win, Chani does not marry your son." Maham says, "And I agree." He only agreed because he's sure Sarman's gonna lose. After, Munja says to Chani, "No one's marrying you but me." She says, "Please let him go, forget the test." He tells them he's going in that arena and we're all gonna watch him die like an animal. It'll be the happiest moment of my life. At that time, she goes to the goddess they worship and says, "Why did you bring him into my life? And why this? He did nothing wrong. This is my fault. I'm the one who loved him, but you're the one at fault. Why did you bring him here?" Anyway, her father sees her state, so he goes to Sarman. He tells him, "I came to tell you a major secret. It's time for you to know." Sarman asks, "What secret?" He says, "The ruler of the city before Maham, his name was Surgeon, and that was your dad." Sarman is shook. Impossible. How? When I'm from a different village. He says, "Your uncle lied. He said your parents died from the plague. He couldn't face you with the truth." Sarman asks, "And what is the truth?" He says, "Your father was the greatest ruler this city ever had. Everyone loved him. Maham was in charge of the traders. He made a deal with another village and made a secret plan. He proposed building a dam on the river. This dam was supposed to be low, so they could get all the gold at the bottom of the river. At the time, your father, the ruler, refused, but the majority wins. The officials were all refusing, but Maham tells them, "Why refuse? If we get the gold, Mohenjo Daro will be way stronger." They tell him, "But there won't be enough water for farming or drinking. Plus, the other villages won't get any water." He tells them, "No, we'll just make a different path for the water." Who agrees? Of course, your father was against it, but some officials accepted and some refused. The vote was 7-7. Only one person left, the priest. He was against it, but Maham just looks at him and he's forced to accept out of fear. And just like that, Maham won. The dam would be built. And so, they start work on the dam. Over time, Maham takes over. Whoever sides with him gets everything. Whoever opposes him, he kills them secretly. He brings thugs into the city to live among the people, just to tighten his control. The dam is built, and Maham finds the gold and steals it. But your father was only worried about the dam. The dam starts getting way too high, so your father goes to stop the workers. But the workers beat him up, and Maham hides the gold and accuses your father of stealing it and committing treason. He says in front of everyone that he stole the gold. Your father yells, "No, I didn't steal anything. This Maham is a traitor. Don't let him mislead you. This man is a con artist. Don't believe him. Speak, priest. Tell the people he's a traitor. Tell them who's right." The priest just stays silent, like always, because he's terrified of Maham. Sarman asks him, "And what did my uncle do?" He says, "He just stood there, terrified. Maham stared at him, so he was too scared to defend your father. And the death sentence was carried out on your father, unjustly, my son. Your father was innocent. We are the criminals. Your mother couldn't handle the shock and died, and Maham seized control. Since then, the people have become like animals. Maham gives gold to whoever joins his evil, and whoever speaks the truth dies. Take your revenge, son. Kill me. I helped kill your father. I had to tell you. Our symbol, Sindhu, supported you and protected you until you returned. Tomorrow, when you face Bakar and Sokar, remember you must win, because your real enemy is Maham. You are the only one who can save this city. You are the only one who can take your father's place. You're the only one who will end the traitor Maham." And sure enough, the next morning, they prep the arena. Sarman enters, looks at Maham, and says to himself, "I swear to God, I am gonna rip those horns right off your head, you clown." They bring him weapons. Hojo says he'll choose the trident. And yep, the trident is his favorite. Chani is super worried. And finally, Bakar and Zokar come out, and these dudes are literal cannibals. They were hunted in the forests and they haven't eaten in a long time. Anyway, he goes in. He tries to pull some tricks, but these guys are on another level. They just play with him, tossing him left and right. They're basically playing volleyball with him. Does Sarman look scared? Bro, that's not gonna happen. He uses his brain. He climbs up high and jumps on one of their heads. The other one runs up the wall and attacks him. You think that's gonna affect them? It's not gonna happen. They beat him up a bit, but Sarman sees Chani looking terrified and he activates. "If you guys are cannibals, then I'm gonna eat you." He overpowers them and knocks their weapons away, but the jerks up top throw them more weapons. At that point, they're destroying Sarman. He's in his final moments. They're slicing him up, slamming him. Everyone is sure he's finished. You think he's gonna die? It's not gonna happen. The lion wakes up, takes out Bakar and goes for Zokar. He jumps on his shoulders, dazes the guy, and gets away. But Zokar charges, so he strikes his leg, and that's the finishing blow. At that moment, the crowd is in shock. They can't believe it. And suddenly, the whole crowd is chanting, "Sarman, the son of the hero surgeon." Chani runs down to him, and her father follows, telling him, "Finally, all the people are on your side. You are their only savior." And that clown, Maham, is absolutely furious. After, Munja is pissed because he's not marrying Chani. His dad's like, "I know you're mad, son, but we gotta kill Chani and her dad." He says, "Not Chani. She's done nothing wrong, father. It's that bastard Sarman. I won't rest until he's dead. But Chani, she can't die." His father tells him, "Love has made you weak, son. Look at yourself. When you're king, any girl you point at will be yours. Stop being so short-sighted. Now go kill the priest and his daughter." And he actually listens to his dad and goes to kill the priest. But Chani escapes. He chases her and is just about to kill her. But Sarman pulls up at full speed and stops him. He finishes off his men and goes for him. He grabs his neck and Chani is about to die. But Sarman breaks his leg. He falls and Sarman attacks him with total rage. He shatters his bones and completely crushes him. And he delivers the finishing blow. He falls. Don't worry, he's dead. The real problem now is his dad. After that, they cremate the priest. Anyway, Chani tells him, "I'm going to tell them the truth, Sarman." She says to the people, "Listen, people, I have a secret. This man, Sarman, is the son of the former ruler, Surgeon." The unhinged guy yells, "I swear on my hair, I knew it!" Just then, his uncle Durjan arrives, and everyone is stunned and so happy. She continues, "Who among you will stand with Sarman to bring justice back?" Everyone shouts, "We're with you, Sarman!" And I'm with y'all. But for real, I need a girl like Chani. Anyway, the people tell him, "We're on your side. Your father was wronged, and we believed Maham's lies. We are with you, Sarman." He tells them, "First, we have to close the past. The people who were unjustly killed just for speaking the truth, we must go get what's left of them and bury them." And so, they go to gather what's left. The unhinged guy tells them, "This is the first one we bury. The one who kept us safe, your father." Sarman is shocked, and he takes his father and the rest of the bodies to be cremated. Anyway, he says to his uncle, "Why did you hide this?" He says, "Forgive me, son. I didn't have the courage. I'm the opposite of your father, a coward." And his aunt says, "Forgive us, son. We all wronged your father." He pulls them into a hug and comforts his uncle. After that, he goes to the dam and overhears the men saying that the smuggled gold cart is moving today. He leaves them and climbs the dam, where he finds the water is right at the top, meaning this dam is about to break. He leaves men there to warn him. He goes back to his men and says, "The gold cart moves today. We have to stop it to expose their treason." Losar says, "Got it. When?" Sarman says, "We move immediately." And so they head out and attack them. They finish off all the men and grab the guy smuggling the gold. He tells him, "I have nothing to do with it. I'm just a merchant." Sarman tells him, "You're a traitor. If I see you here again, I won't spare you." He takes the gold and Kolka so he can expose Maham. Maham's men tell him, "Sarman took all the gold and Kolka and he's gathered the townspeople to expose you." Maham tells him, "Take your men and go finish off Sarman and Kolka too." Just then, Sarman has gathered most of the people. He tells them, "Wake up. The dam that Maham built to get the gold, the one he convinced you would fix the city, it was all a lie. This gold, he was trading it for bronze weapons to wage war against Harappa, to get revenge. This is the main reason the dam was built. The time has finally come for all of us to be united." Just then, all the people start chanting Sarman's name, but suddenly, the thugs attack and kill Kulka, but they don't get Sarman. The people fight them off. After that, the entire crowd moves towards Maham's palace. Sarman bursts in, wrecks him, and tells him, "Today you pay for everything. Today is your end, Maham." Maham tells him, "I am still the ruler." Sarman says, "Rule over yourself. Get out, you dog." His uncle says, "From this day on, the ruler is Sarman. I agree." And everyone agrees. And Sarman sentences Maham to death. And so they take him and tie him to this tree. Just then, the men see the dam shaking and about to fall. They run to Sarman and tell him, "The dam, it's done." He tells the people, "Don't panic. The dam is about to collapse. We have to leave the city right now. Get your things and I'll make a path for you. Let's go. Why are you standing around? There's no time. And you, Maham, you started this, and it's your end. Now drink what you stored, you criminal. Maham's like, take me with you. Sarman's like, your friends are waiting for you in hell. He leaves him and goes. He gathers his men and tells them, look, we're on this side, and the water is trapped here. We need to cross. Chief Excavator, I need a lot of rope. Losar, you stay here. Hojo, get me cartwheels, at least 4. The rest of you, bring me all the boats. Let's go! And so, they gather the supplies and their plan begins. But the dam is on the verge of collapse. And this guy Maham, he breaks off a piece of wood and starts trying to untie his ropes. The men are working on Sarman's plan. They get the wheels ready and wrap the rope around them. Men go to the other side, doing the same thing. They tie the ropes to the boats and pull so the boats line up. Everyone pulls, and they have cattle pulling too. They keep pulling, and the water current is stronger than them, but they succeed in securing the ropes. And finally, the boats are all aligned. They lay wood planks over them, and the plan works. Everyone starts crossing. Everyone makes it, except the unhinged guy. Sarman refuses to cross and goes back for him. Chani is terrified for Sarman, and the dam begins to break and is about to explode. The madman tells him, go, Sarman, I was born here and I'll die here, son. Sarman tells him, I'm not leaving you. He says, listen to me. My life's wish is to see Maham die. Leave me, son, listen. Just then, the dam collapses, and the water comes at full speed towards Sarman as he's running. He's just about to make it, but at the last second, the water hits him and he falls into the flood. I really wanted to tell you that he didn't die, but he actually didn't die, and he comes out of the water like a total boss. The water floods and completely drowns the city, and Maham had hope he could free himself. But this is the end for tyrants, and Mohenjo Daro was gone like it never existed. And finally, Sarman has done what he had to do, and the water has returned. He takes Chani in his arms, and he sees the one horn exactly like his dream, and he decides to build a just city right from the beginning. And in the end, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to get our awesome videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, my friend.